Yes, brother. You can trust us. We are here. We are not leaving.
Okay, I want you guys to like.
Oh yeah, we are awake as well.
This is where your troubleshooting skills comes in and how good you understand the Linux. Okay, so this is normal. Just because you learned all this here, you're not exactly doing all this here. What I'm doing in the last 1 hour, that's what you've been doing. Figuring things out, finding it out, and providing solutions. That's what you'll be doing. Okay, so let's look at this here. The SUID, the permission here is, if you look at the execute permission, S is set here. And this one has read, execute here. So what I'm going to do now is, I'm going to do chmod. Let's ping something here. Ping Google. Don't tell me I can't ping Google. Okay, so let's continue. Here the ping command is working, right? So what I'm going to do is this recording? Yeah, it's recording. Okay. Here I'm logged in as Zafar, and if I do ping, I'm able to ping, right? So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take away the SUID permissions from here. Okay. So what I'm going to do is chmod. Okay. Who is the user here? Okay, so you is the user means the owner of the file. The owner of the file is this part is the owner. So I'm going to take the S out of there. Okay, so what I'm going to do is chmod. Okay, U minus S. Okay, bin ping. Okay, LSFNL bin ping. Okay. So look at this here. So I have read, write, execute, read, write, and read, write, read and execute. Okay. So what I'm going to do is, so I'm going to copy this and I'll try to ping again. Okay, it's pinging fine, right? So let's try to ping it as a user here. Okay, this is what I'm getting at here. So what is happening here is, as a user, I took away the SUID permissions from the ping command. Okay, ping command is look at this here, is the owner here. Okay, but ping is one of the system. This is a highly guarded command here. Even though the regular user has the execute command, execute means they should use it. Even though they have the execute command, the regular user is not able to use it. Okay, so that's all it means is when SUID is set for a file here, then the user is able to use it as if it's a root. So to run the ping command, you have to be root. But here, the user Zafar is able to use it without being he's not even a pseudo user, but he is able to use the ping command. So what is happening here? This specific command requires the root privileges. But since we set this as SUID, it inherits the owner's permission when executing a file. So ping command is running as if it's running a root, even though he's logged in as user. Alright, questions now. Don't tell me you guys have no questions.
So where do we use this command and why we have to take away the permission?
Yeah, this is good. Very good question. Sometimes there are some servers that are very critical. For example, I was working in Apple. They have some servers, like a lot of things are locked down. I told you the security is managed on the network level, right? Now, some servers, for example, the Apple Pay servers, it contains all the other financial information, right? For example, a bank has credit card information and all those. Some servers are very, very critical here. So what you do there as an admin or an engineer is disable some of these features here. So if a user is able to ping from inside, somebody is able to ping it from outside. So what they do is they disable the ping so that a regular user is not able to ping outside. Okay? So what ping is running on ICMP. This is a protocol, ICMP protocol. It's blocked now. Okay, open circuit operation not found, not permitted. So there are also some other files which need to be blocked for the higher level of security. So now if I restore it back here, this command, if I restore it back, chmod u plus s, okay, bin ping. Okay, I should be able to ping now. Okay, yeah. I just want you guys to remember all this here. But I haven't used this myself recently in last two to 3 years. I haven't used it. But you should know as a system admin how you would disable all this here. Okay.
But Zafar, this is the example that you showed us about the ping. Is it ping really what you call risky to have it open or permitted for all the users? I mean, just learning from you.
Sometimes it is. It could be risky, right? Anytime a port is open, it's open to a hack.
Okay.
So if you disable this, then the server is absolutely not able to communicate as a regular user.
So if we instead changing all these file permission thing, SUID, if we just block the port, if it turned off the port.
Yeah. So sometimes a port may be using, two different services may be using the same port. Like port 22, I think port 20 and 22 is being used by the same service. Let's see here, 9600, Telnet 23 raw. So port port 22, it could be used. See, by default, the port 22 is set as default here, but it doesn't have to. You could change, you could go into the system and change it. I mean, if once you're a root user, you have access to anything and everything, and you could change a lot of things around. Okay?
Makes sense. Jazakallah.
So this course, what this course is doing is putting you on the path of being an admin or engineer. That way you just start to analyze and start thinking what you're doing, and then you just, what you have learned here, you could just use those possibilities anywhere else, okay? Okay, so let me put the notes here. So you do ls -l bin ping. Okay, and then okay, so look at this permission here. Okay, now what we're going to do is now remove the SUID from ping. So you should be able to ping using regular user. Okay, now remove the SUID from ping. Okay, how do you do that? chmod u -s. Okay, bin/ping. Okay, now the user is unable to use ping command. Okay, so let's see here. Okay, but the root user still has full permissions. Okay, to restore the SUID, chmod u +s bin/bin/ping. Okay. Okay. And then anybody have any questions about sticky bit? Sticky bit is just worry about the temporary folder here. You could create a file in there. You could delete only your own files. You cannot delete anybody else's file, even though you would have full access to that folder. It is a delete function if you're not the root or owner of the file.
So it's just the protection of the deletion, right?
Yeah, delete
Like you
function.
cannot just delete it if anybody set up this sticky bit on any specific file, even if you're as a root.
No, root could do anything.
Oh, okay.
Here, it is a delete protection If you are not a root or owner of the file, you cannot delete. You a file. Okay. All right. Let's take a 5-minute break. I'll be back in 5 minutes.
Brother Zafar, before we take a question,
Okay, I'm back now. So the next topic is the file access control. Okay. It's called FACL. FACL. Okay. File access control list. Okay.
Brother Zafar, this is the regular file control. For the other one that we did is for the system file. Am I right?
No, say it again.
The previous topic that we did, the file control like ping, those are system generated files. So the FACL is the regular files.
Yeah, let's find out. Okay, we'll work on it together. Okay. Let me just close this here. Close this. And go in here. Okay, so let's do. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make a directory mk. Okay, let's do ls. So the data is there, right? So I'm gonna create a directory mkdir finance. Okay, and then if I do ls-ld finance, so we have this permission here, right? Read, write, execute, read, execute, read, execute. Okay, so what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna go in as a regular user, as Zafar. So I am here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do touch file 1. Okay. Permission denied. Okay. So what I'm going to do is, as a regular user, you are not able to write anything there. Okay, but we don't want to give the permissions at the individual level either. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to assign the permissions to the user. Okay, let's take a look how I'm going to do that. The command is set FACL, set file access control list. Okay, -m, and then type U as a user, and then colon, give the username Zafar. Okay, and then give another colon, and what kind of permissions you want to give it to Zafar. Okay, read, write, execute. and then the folder I want to give it to finance. Okay, so if you go back up here, now you see here, right? Read, write, execute. Okay, and then you do see plus this here. Okay, that means that there is an extra digit that is showing here. That means this folder has permissions which is set for specific user. Okay, so let's see if I could do the touch file here. So I could do touch file here. Okay, now I'm going to go in as Shakil and see if he is able to create a file. Okay, so user Shakil is not able to create a file there. Okay, that's all to it.
So the same way we can remove the access from some users also.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, alright, let's work on here. So faculty, you can grant or deny permission on user level. Let's do, you can grant permission to specific user. Okay, so how are you going to do that?
It could be grant permission and deny for group as well, or just only for user?
I've seen only per user.
Okay.
You know what? I think you should be able to do it from the root also. File. Can you see me? Hello?
Yes.
Okay, good. Okay, so let's see here. So you make a directory and then you use this. What was the permission thing? Okay. Okay, so what you could do is you could run the command set faculty, and once you run this command you do LSS and LD. Okay. Now, what you could do is, there is another command here to check the existing FAQL here. Okay, so you type get FAQL and then you type finance. Okay, so this is going to give you the output of what is the permission set to. Okay, it says your file name finance. Why does it say file name when it's a folder?
It's because Linux saves all the things as a file.
Yeah, very good. Very good. You are ready for the job. Okay, good. So the file name is finance, the owner is root, and the group is root. Okay? So the user, which is the owner, he has read, write, execute permissions. Okay? And the user, Zafar, he has read, write, execute permissions. And the group has read and write only. Okay? So to answer your question, you could give it to the group also. And the mask, I don't know what the mask is. And others have a read and a execute permission. So you could definitely give the group level permissions and others permission. Other is usually here, user. Over here, the user is getting the same permission as root.
Actually, Zafar is other because the user is root on this file. So Zafar is the other user.
Yeah, but here's the thing. If you do ls has an ld in finance, see, other is only read and execute. But Zafar is now the user here. He is even though he's not showing as a user, there is root.
But for this file, Zafar is the other user.
In principle, Zafar is other user, but over here it's the user. A regular, when in here in permissions, the user is the owner, right?
But the owner is the root.
Exactly. Even though owner is the root, Zafar has a root permission here on this folder. This is why it's called FAQL, File Access Control List. So the user over here is root here. If you go back up here into the permissions, when you started here, so the user part, this part is whoever is the owner, right?
Who is the owner? Yep.
And the group and the others is whoever is not the owner. So over here, the owner is the root. But
Owner is root.
also, when we run the get FAQL here, Zafar is also the owner here. So
Zafar is the other group. I mean the other user is, all other is not the owner. Owner is root actually.
okay, let's try to delete this as Zafar, okay? Let's do that. Okay, so which is a file 2? RM. So can you see the file? So you can't see the file created by root. Oh no, I'm in the wrong place. Okay, so what I'm going to do is touch file 2, right? So what happened here? See, the Zafar over here is acting as Zafar has a root permissions here, so it kind of blew up the root file. So user Zafar has a full permissions here on this specific folder. So does it make sense now? The user is Zafar here now. Zafar is acting as a root here. Let's see here. Okay, I have a document here that has all these permissions. Okay.
I can't hear anything, Brother Zafar. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm just getting some information.
I thought I got disconnected. Thank you, brother.
So in the last batch, I had some good. Okay, we covered all this here. So this is just the information. I'm gonna put it in here. Okay. So these are some of the permissions challenged here. Okay. So identity, user is U, group is G, other is O. Okay. And then the permissions are read, write, execute. Read, write, execute. Read is 4, write is 2, execute is 1. Okay. And then if you do plus, that means you're adding it. You know, the moment I push
Use the apostrophe, single apostrophe, brother.
okay, that's good. Okay, so if I push minus, the actions plus minus, and make it only permission, okay? So these are equal to. You could try those out. And then the permissions here is G plus W add write access. You could read up on this. These are some silly numbers I have here. Okay? I mean, the best thing is you calculate all this in your head. That way you know how to do this, okay? But this is just the information. These are most commonly used options. And then chmod command. These are file permissions, grant permission to others. So this is just the examples here. You can read up on this. Okay, let me see if I have covered everything here. I covered the sudo access, right? I covered the sudo access. Okay, I'm going to put sudo access in a permissions also. Remember I told you permissions and permissions and user administration goes hand in hand. Okay, that's why it's.
It's pretty interesting topic, brother. Access is a user management is a pretty interesting topic.
It is. Okay, so you have sudo access here, and all you have to do is sudo, and the user would have a sudo access. Okay, and these are the permission commands. How do the permissions work? Okay, and what else? So let me just make sure I have everything covered here for permissions. So we have a file permission, and I explained you how the permissions work. Okay, and then chmod. I explained you UMask, right? UMask.
Yes, brother, you did 022.
Yeah. Okay, so this is the directory permissions. And then, yeah, right here, UMask. And set UID, folder directory permissions, then folder assignment to the group. Okay. And then FAQ, file access control list, and sudo access. Okay, good. These are the good stuff here. Alright, let's look at the user administration. So we have creating a user. We use user add, and then the group. Okay, sudo access, I have it here. And creating a group. Okay, so there are a few more topics here in in here that I need to cover. Okay, so what is creating a group? So you create a group and group add 3000 developer, add the user to the group. I did went over the groups, right? So
creating group, everything.
Yeah. Yeah. So here the group is listed as VIETC group. Okay, and then to check the group, you go into VIETC group. Okay. Now the user is a part of the group now. Okay, so creating a group is there. And now, so this part is assign group to user, okay? We are assigning a group to user. Okay, so next what we're going to do is assign, what the heck, man? Why is it? So we assign the group to the user, right? Let's see here. ID Zafar. Okay, so the group accounting is, or the developer is added to the user. So what I'm going to do is, now I'm going to assign the group, assign group to the directory.
Brother Zafar, can I ask a question, please?
Yeah.
On this Linux command, we see the GID 6002 for accounting, and then we have the word groups. What is that? What's the difference between GID and the word groups for the accounting and developers?
It's the ID. It's GID and groups are same thing. Group ID is 600, but it is also telling you it's accounting. The primary group is accounting for this ID. And then this is the secondary group.
And when the word groups are there instead of GID, those are the, I'm just trying to differentiate how to.
No, here groups, right now, group is referring to the group name, but at the same time it's giving the ID here. And over here ID is there and then it's also showing the group name. It's just giving you double information.
Got it. Jazakallah.
Yeah, very good question. It's just here the user name is Zafar and user ID is 1000, right? But you could give ID 1000, right? It should spit out same information. There you go. GID 6002. Okay. Group. Yeah, that command is not working. Okay, yeah, don't worry about too much about this. But here, so we added a group and assign a group to the user. Now assign a group to the directory. Okay, so how are we going to do that? Simple ls-ld data. Okay, let's do this. mkdir ls-ld finance. Okay, so the finance directory is there, right? So mkdir okay, so we created a new directory. Now what we're going to do is we're going to assign the group to the directory. So what is the command to do that? It's just simple. You change chgrp. I think I already showed this one here, but this is officially I'm showing it to you. Change group, and then we're going to change it to a developer, and then I'm going to do it to finance. Okay, so what is the group here right now? What is the group for finance?
Good.
Yeah, exactly. So you do ls-ld finance, and the group is developer now.
Does this mean that only developer group has access to this finance? Nobody else can access this folder?
Yeah, using that, anybody using developer group may be able to. No, everybody has directory access. I think I told you. Every user could go into any directory, even the system root directory. Most of them. But going in there and creating a file or anything like that, then that's a different story.
In this particular case, the developers are the people who belong to developer group can go and create and modify the files inside.
No, not yet. They have access there.
Okay.
No, what is happening is when the developer group is there, they could create the file in there and will assign to the developer. The group owner of this directory is developer.
And two more group gain the same permission like root and developer.
Root user has full permissions here. So you have to do that on the user level.
But now root has changed the finance group has changed to the root from root to developer now, right?
Yeah, and the developer is root owner. The developer is the group owner.
But it is, the root is not the group member now.
Well, root user has, regardless of whatever that folder is, root has full access.
So it means you are adding one more group, right? You are adding one more group, you are changing from root to the developer. What does it mean?
Let's do it faculty finance. get cycle finance. Okay. So the owner is root, and the group is developer. And the group has only read and read and execute. It doesn't have the write permission here. So what is happening is when the files are created in there, the ownership will belong to the developer group. So what you have to do is you have to once you practice this couple times here, because permissions and user administration are both just one subject here. They'll go hand in hand. Okay? So now if you want to give the permission here, all you have to do is chmod. Okay? G plus W finance. And let's get cycle here. So you have the group as a read-write access here. Oh, it's not showing that here. Group plus okay, now sorry, I didn't change it on a cycle level, I changed it on a directory level. So if you do ls as an LG finance, so you have the group as a read, write, execute permission. Chmod G plus W finance. So we will check the ownership in a minute here. There is a, did I show you the chown command? The ownership command?
Yeah, I think you did, brother.
I did? I don't see it. Yeah. Okay, now let's touch the ownership, okay? Chown. Or you could use chown to change ownership of files and folders. Okay, so let's do this here. So let me clear this. So I do ls-l. Okay, what I could do is chown. Okay, and then I'm gonna give the ownership to Shakil, and then the file name. Changing ownership of a file operation not permitted. What?
I think you have Zafar and it should be root, I think.
The owner should be able to give the permissions, ownership.
I think ownership, by using ownership, you have to use for, that's what I'm thinking. User level you have to use sudo command. You can do only root level like that. That's what I'm thinking.
Okay. Yeah, I think the root has to do that. Root has to do the ownership. But if you are an owner, you should be able to do it. Okay. So you could go into finance and you do ls. So ls has an L. So what it is, ch own. Okay, and the file name, and then secure. So you go file name left. Okay, yeah, the ownership is changed now. Okay, now you have to change the group, right? You could use the change ch own also to change the group also. Ch own. Ch own, and then you have to change the developer and then the file name.
Do we need to change it? Okay.
Yeah, you have to type a colon there. I don't know why. Oh, you know what? Actually, the ownership and this is usually changed using the same command here. Okay, hold on. ch own to change the ownership of the file and folder. Or user and group. Okay. So what you do is you type ch own secure, and then you type ch own developer, and then you type no, actually you type this command here, right? And then what else you could do is you could use both at the same time. Ch own, you type Zafar colon, ch own Zafar, and then we could type, there is one more group in here, right? Cat etc group accounting, yeah. So what if it is ch own Zafar? Let's do LSFNL. So you could do both at the same time, ch own Zafar and accounting. File 1. Okay. I mean, there are a lot of things here. I'm not even sure why I'm spending time here on these silly things. So there are a lot of things you guys could do and come up with on your own. Okay, so
brother Zafar, if you master one command, change ownership, and you can do everything with the everything, should we worry about the change group and change other change commands?
no, don't worry about this. I mean, you just go through this a couple times and you'll get it. I mean, if somebody's not going to hunt you down why you use this or that, I mean, there are several ways to do same thing, right? So that's how it is here.
Got it.
Okay, and yeah, so this was there, and the output was here. Okay, now we did the developer ch own developer, and this is the output. Okay, ch own Zafar, and this is the output. Okay, so I did the group add, create a group is group add, and then sudo access, and user mod, creating a user password. See, it's repeating here already. We already did this. Okay, user mod. Okay, so, no, this is change mod. Okay, let's take care of the user modification, okay? So what is user mod is user mod command modify existing users. Okay, let's take a look here. So let's do ID Zafar, ID Shakil. So we have this information here, right? So what I could do is user mod -ag, and then add Shakil to I'm going to add the group here. So I'm going to add accounting. ID Shakil is there. Okay, now if you want to add the primary group, what you have to do is, now see here, the primary group is going to change here, okay? So what else we have? We have a developer too. So I'm going to do user mod -g developer. If you do ID Shakil, now the git is a primary group for Shakil is this, a user mod. And then if you want to add get etc. So we have Ubaid also, right? ID Ubaid. So Ubaid is not officially part of any, a good group. So let's add him. We could add like multiple groups to Ubaid ID. So we could do user mod. Okay, -AG, and then the group name. So we have developer, and we have accounting. Okay, and then Shakil, Ubaid. Okay, so the primary group is not going to change unless we do -G. Okay, I think this is good enough. User mod. You guys are still with me, right?
Yes, sir.
What about developer? You put the comma accounting, but what about after accounting? You didn't put any comma
Where here?
after accounting.
And the user ID.
Oh, this one is user ID. Okay. So we put one more group. We'll put the comma, right?
Yeah, we were using the Silicon and CHO. We were assigning it to the files and folders. Okay, the ownership of the files and folders is different than the modifying the user. All right, guys. If you nail this in the interview, you leave the interviewer speechless. Okay, so I'm going deep inside all this here. We already spent 4 months together here. We got 2 more months. So this week, guys, send me what you have learned and make it a good resume. I already sent you the template and everything. Because if you're serious about this, I spent 6 months on it without even knowing you guys. And, it's a payback time, I think. We should start building the resume by the end of March and middle of the March, you could start interviewing. Okay? And I will start scripting next week and then AWS following that.
Sure.
Yeah, a few more topics here I will cover before I start scripting. But we'll see how it goes here. Because so the user added as a secondary group. Okay, and then what you could do is you could do this as a primary group.
Brother Zafar, just a side question, please.
Yeah.
How likely you pass this certification that you gave us for the last 6 months, for example? Will we be able to pass the certification so that we have some solid background as far as the resume is concerned?
Which certification are you talking about?
Some sort of Linux admin certification, Linux something.
Yeah, you could check the curriculum for certification, what they're looking for, and then you could do, most of the things would be same, and they may have little different. See, the certification would require some silly things you would never use. And I don't know what exactly the certification is requiring, but you could study on your own. Few topics I may have missed, which the topics I may have missed is not being used, maybe they have something to do with LDAP or things. Most of the places they're not using all those things. But a certification will require all that. So you could do, you could do those things and then see how it goes. But if you have a certification that the employer doesn't really care, he will talk to you first. I think the interview is more important than having a certification. If you say, I got a certification, that doesn't mean anything. Most of them, they would say like, okay, they will ask you this and that question. They will definitely ask you a lot of other things that I told you in this. And they will ask you about some AWS, they will ask you about scripting. I think the certification doesn't even talk about scripting. You could check and let me know.
Thank you, Brother Zafar. I have to admit that you have spent a pretty good time with us, and you also put the best effort you can. I have to admit that, and I admire you for that. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to end here. And then I think I covered everything. I covered the user ad, right? Yeah. User ad is very in the beginning.
Brother Zafar, do you mind if you just upload this document, for example, as is for the time being, and you can modify a little later?
Okay.
So that we have something to work on it, please.
Yeah, let me do it right now. Okay?
Thank you very much.
Alright. I'll talk to you guys next week. Allah Hafiz.
Allah Hafiz. Jazakallah.
Allah Hafiz.